This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and welcome to the Nightmare Factory Student Showcase. For some of these wrestlers that you're going to see, this is their very first time ever having a match. They've gone through 12 weeks of rigorous training at the Nightmare Factory, and they are finally ready to emerge on the scene. So hopefully you guys enjoy and you find someone that you follow into their future. Again, welcome to the Nightmare Factory Student Showcase.
Welcome everybody out to the Nightmare Factory. I'm Brandon Benefield alongside Gerard Bonner, and this is Camp 7, the showcase for these students. I'm excited, GB.
We are super excited as we get to see the genesis of brand new entries into the world of professional wrestling, and we're starting off with a bit of a bang, a fiery bang with Aleksy Lee.
And his opponents.
Josifi looks like he's come for war, and I completely understand given the way that Aleksy just literally burnt his name in effigy. What in the world?
How about that? Aleksy Lev coming out here, and the man from Poland, just like you said, lighting that name on fire right off the bat here.
Absolutely crazy, and what a start to this confrontation. We've got a bell, and this match is off. I'm really excited about both of these guys and what they're bringing to the table again. For both of them, this is their first pro wrestling match that we're seeing here, or that they're having, and they get to do that right here as part of Student Showcase 7.
We got a great crowd on hand here tonight at the Nightmare Factory. They're letting Aleksy have it there. A big hip toss. And Aleksy Lev there taking down Josifi.
Yeah, Aleksy isn't. Yeah, he's not exactly endearing himself to this crowd. I mean, from the moment he walked out, I can't get over that image of him burning the name of his opponent. That's crazy. That's just crazy.
High impact move there from Aleksy there. Of course, he calls himself the hothead, and you're seeing it right off the bat here in this opening matchup.
The hothead with a hot hand, but he has to do that because let's face it, his opponent, Steven Josifi, an amazing build. He's done quite a bit, certainly on his route here to the world of pro wrestling. Went to Temple University, majored in business administration. There's a shoulder block there. But now he's going to have to figure out the business of pro wrestling here in this matchup against Aleksy Levy.
Leapfrog there into a hip toss there from Josifi, taking down Aleksy, and again with that arm drag.
You know what, again, this student showcase is exciting for a lot of reasons. Most of these students are literally having their first match here after only 12 weeks of training here in the Nightmare Factory.
Oh, looking for that F5 attempt that he went for. A beautiful drop kick there from Steven, though.
And I love this. This is the cool part about these kinds of matches is, like I mentioned, for them both, it's their first match, but you really can't tell when you see just how amazing they are in the ring, and really they're involved in this battle, wanting to get the first win. That's the thing. Who wants to lose in their very first match?
And like you said, GB, it's kind of hard to tell that it's a first match for a lot of these guys, and that's a credit to this great school here, the Nightmare Factory. Shout out to the great trainers here. You got QT Marciano, Cody Rhodes, Ray Lloyd, you might know him as Glacier. You got Luke Sampson, Aaron Black as well, a pin attempt, but Josifi able to kick out.
Well, what is this about Aleksy? I mean, clearly he thinks he can just win this no matter what. That was a lackadaisical cover for sure, but really that speaks to his confidence. He really believes that he can absolutely overcome Josifi in this match.
Aleksy with the advantage now as he driving those shoulders right into the gut of Josifi in the corner, and a big European uppercut there from Aleksy Lev.
You know, and here's the thing with Aleksy, again, he knows that he's He knows he's giving up a size advantage, and so now he takes it into an attitude space. And when you walk with a space of confidence, it really can make up any sort of size differential there is.
Snapmare takeover. Now he's got that fly here to Josifi in the center of the ring. Josifi a long way away from the ropes here.
He is, but certainly he has the support of this particular crowd here, who is clearly behind him, and as much as they're behind him, they are against Aleksy Lee.
Josifi trying to battle out of this, but he's still got the bravado. No, he finally escapes, and a big European uppercut there from Josifi. But into the corner, big back elbow, though, from Aleksy.
Again, Aleksy Lee is totally confident, and that confidence is on display. And you know, that's really hard. Think about it. Your first match, your first time in front of a crowd, you've got to have butterflies, you know, the size of grapefruits. It's got to be crazy right now. But clearly he's able to move past that, and not everybody is.
Big clubbing forearm there to the spine. Looking for maybe a butterfly. Oh!
Look at that innovative DDT there.
Double underhook there, and now hook at the outside leg, but no. Josifi able to get that right shoulder up off the mat just in time.
And for one of these guys, they're going to be able to say forever and ever, their first match was a win. But look at this.
Oh, look at this.
He's signaling for the diamond cutter. To my understanding, he has been trying to steal that from his trainer, QT Marciano.
Up with Josifi, able to escape. There's Aleksy with a back elbow, though, and now, bulldog from Aleksy going for the pin, hooks the outside leg once again.
That bulldog is certainly a Rhodes classic there, so shout out to them, and a great move there from Aleksy Lee. Pretty creative, and it seems like went for an elbow there, but he missed that one.
Nobody home as Josifi able to get out of the way, but he's still reeling there. And heads up, looking for a big leg drop, but Josifi able to get out of the way again.
Josifi clearly is paying attention, as everything that Lee is trying is not working right now, which could work in the favor of Josifi.
Charges in, but Josifi hits that big lariat, taking down Aleksy, and again, taking him down with that huge clothesline. Ducks one of his own.
And there is his
spine buster, spine firmly on the pine right there, center of the ring.
And Josifi is now tapping into that power advantage that he has with that impressive build, all 205 pounds of him.
Steven Josifi is fired up right now, and this crowd is as well.
What does he have in mind? Look at this. A huge Uranagi there.
Absolutely. Pin attempt here, hooks the outside leg. Will it be enough?
Count of two.
Not quite. As Aleksy able to get that shoulder up once again.
Absolutely here. And now Josifi is trying to figure out, what do I have to do to get this win? He certainly has the momentum. Now he's trying to figure out, what do I do? And he's signaling for something here.
Right, he's looking for that F5 attempt one more time. He tried it early on and he couldn't hit it, but he's getting his back elbows here from Aleksy. Aleksy able to escape. That discus lariat takes down Josifi, center of the ring. Will this be enough?
Count of two.
Man, just barely. Josifi able to get the shoulder up once again in this crowd. You mentioned he had the momentum. He had it, but he also had this crowd behind him. We've got a great crowd here tonight. A lot of friends and family of these students. Great to see them here in the crowd at the Nightmare Factory.
And once again, you can see Aleksy signaling for that diamond cutter. He can't quite get it.
Oh, back in the fireman's carry position once again. Will he be able to hit that F5? And he does. It connected.
He got all of that one. And a 3 count.
There you go. Steven Josifi.
Josifi, of course, majoring in business administration, and now he can add pro wrestling to his resume. His first match, his first win. What an impressive start to his career with a big win over Aleksy Lee.
Absolutely, and what a way to kick things off here at Nightmare Factory Camp 7 Student Showcase, man. What a night, and we still have so much more to go here.
We certainly do, and we see there, he's got his proud flag there, Josifi, but meanwhile,
wait a second.
Aleksy Lee demanding a microphone right now.
Left calling for the mic here.
Josifi! I know you cheated. We all know you cheated. And I want a rematch. And I'm going to hit you with a diamond cutter that I stole from QT Marshall. And I'm not leaving this ring until I get what I want.
You know, most people don't tell you that they stole something.
Well,
They just kind of steal it in anonymity. But
it looks like he's waiting for Josifi to come back out here. He wants a rematch right away here.
I didn't know you could demand matches here at the showcase.
I'm not quite sure, but wait a second.
Oh, wait.
Aleksy doesn't see what's happening behind him here.
He certainly doesn't. He might want to look behind him.
One of the head trainers here. Oh, look out! Diamond cutter! A diamond cutter from QT Marciano!
Oh, I guess he just took it back, huh?
Wow.
Puts his hat on, waves. He came out of nowhere. And that's how the diamond cutter is supposed to be done. So is this a double loss for Aleksy?
I tell you what a way to go out in your very first match here at Camp Number 7 Student Showcase. He's just now coming to. I'm not sure he knows what happened.
I'm sure he has no clue. He might still be looking for Josifi to show
Our
up.
referee corps trying to explain to him what just went down. we got a lot more for you, fans. Stick with us.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
You know, GB, after talking to both of these gentlemen in this upcoming match, we talked to them before the show, and I am excited for this one. We got Chris Pagan getting ready to take on T-Train. And man, I tell you what, both of these guys impressed us all here at this camp over the last several weeks, and I'm excited for this one.
Very excited to see what's about to happen here. Chris Pagan is amazing. I'll tell you what, T-Train is from a wrestling city, but he's got a mic in his hand.
T-Train is on the move. You know what? Chris was looking for an opponent. I made sure to step up. He's the toughest person in our class. Barely anyone can pick him up or even get him off his feet. But guess what? I can. Hey, who wants to see me hit Chris with a freight slam? Lucky for y'all, I fold Chris's for a living. Hey, you look at me. You're looking at me when I'm talking to you. I'm not afraid of you, and I know that I can beat you. But I know you're one of the best in this class, so this is gonna be a hard match. So every time you hit me down, I'm gonna get back up. Because I owe it to my family who traveled, to the friends who couldn't, to the kids I mentored. So yeah, I'm gonna let you know that I am gonna earn your respect. And I'm gonna let you know why you don't stay on the track when T-Train is coming.
All right.
T-Train not lacking the confidence here.
Absolutely, he's not lacking confidence, but now the big question is, can he back up everything that he said against, again, the impressive Chris Pagan?
There's a bell. Our second match is underway here. Camp number 7, the student showcase. It's been impressive so far. And here we go. T-Train, Chris Pagan locking up. And T-Train there with early advantage, getting that wrist control into the hammerlock.
I'll tell you, T-Train, it's so interesting, again, when you step into a space against someone who is larger. We talked before about the need for great confidence, and there's no doubt T-Train has plenty of confidence.
Look out now, here comes T-Train again, trying to get him off his feet. And he said don't stand on the tracks when the T-Train's coming through, but so far, Chris Pagan unable to get off his feet here. Oh, look out. Both men, quite a collision there.
And he got him up. He got him up.
Just barely though. Oh, and Chris Pagan taking down T-Train hard right in the center of the ring.
Well,
I think look at Pagan there. I think he's kind of a little shocked there. I don't think anybody's gotten him off his feet just like that so far.
Absolutely. Well, look, he's 300 pounds. It's very hard to get someone of his size off of his feet. He's got a lot of strength, to say the least. And again, T-Train, he came with a lot of strength. He came with a lot of confidence, and he did what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to pick up Chris Pagan, and he did, but he didn't exactly accomplish what he intended to accomplish, and now he's paying for it.
Butterfly suplex there, right in the center of the ring. He landed hard right in the lower back. You see him writhing in pain now is T-Train.
And T-Train may be rethinking everything he said walking into this matchup.
And Pagan now just slowly, methodically taking his time here.
Well, here's the thing. We talked about the bravado of T-Train, and I like it. I think it's super impressive.
Oh, look at this.
Wow.
The body is not supposed to have been that way, GB.
It is absolutely not. The spirit is willing, but this body is weak.
My goodness.
He is having a rough time, and I understand it. Here's the thing. He is a rapper. He's been involved in lip sync battles and all sorts of things.
Sunset flip, can he
Can
get
he
him down?
pull him over?
No, not quite. Oh!
But he did get out of the way, and that's super important for T-Train.
Yeah, thank goodness he did, because that would have been all for T-Train. But look, he's going to try it again with that lower back. Does he have enough, but not quite there.
Did you see how Pagan, again, went after the lower back? He actually started striking the lower back. That's a bit of brilliance there coming from Chris Pagan.
Smart move there from Chris Pagan. Of course, amateur wrestling for 16 years, a former two-time All-American, undefeated as a state champion.
You know, these things matter when you get into a pro situation. So again, for T-Train, this is his first match. Now, he played football in high school. He was a linebacker, so certainly used to physical contact and the like. But Chris Pagan, like you mentioned, 16 years as an amateur, those things make a huge difference. You can see how he likes to use that body. What an elbow there.
Rolls him over here. A bit of an arrogant pin, and T-Train able to get that left shoulder up just in time.
Yeah, you know, you definitely want to make sure you secure the victory by hooking the leg. But then again, think about it. You're 300 pounds. You're stronger than everybody else in the camp. I understand why he just felt like, a simple laydown would be enough.
Pagan now still with the advantage. What's he looking for here? Looking to go up onto the ropes here.
Look at a moonsault!
Springboard moonsault from the second rope. But T-Train able to get out of the way just in time, and yeah, Pagan's paying for it right now.
I think T-Train had to get out of the way, because if not, this match would have been over. But you can see T-Train still just holding on to that back. That back is bothering him. It's actually an injury that dates all the way back to his high school football days, where he just had some injuries and a tough move with your back. And again, if your back's not working well, pro wrestling might be that much more difficult for you.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, too. You came through this camp together, so a lot of these guys have learned about each other over the time. So, of course, Pagan learning about that back injury and knowing to target that back. But now look at T-Train, though.
He got him up! He got him!
Slam! A scoop slam to the much larger Chris Pagan there.
T-Train did it for the kids.
Look out now. Ducks a clothesline, and then, a huge sidewalk slam there from T-Train. Scoops the arm, hooks the leg. Will it be enough? Oh, my goodness.
That was super close, but what an impressive series of maneuvers from T-Train, and the train is starting to move. Will Chris Pagan need to get off the tracks at this point?
He thinks he can, he thinks he can, he thinks he can. Come on now, T-Train. You got me believing. You got this crowd believing. This crowd's firmly behind T-Train.
He's making a believer out of all of us, but now the question is, does he believe in himself? That's the question.
Pagan now in the corner, trying to use those ropes, trying to get back to his feet. T-Train slowly stirring now, trying to get back to a vertical base as well.
T-Train is trying to figure out, what do you do at this point? And again, you know, you get tested an awful lot in certain spaces.
Look at the big man.
The agility of Chris Pagan. I told you he was amazing.
Unless the crowd knows what he thinks about him. And then up and
look
over.
At this!
The big man, like a cat.
What a clothesline!
But he just got turned inside out by T-Train.
I am so impressed with the agility of Pagan, but look at this.
Look again.
The strength of T-Train. He got him up again.
And he hit him. Center of the ring. Will it be enough? Back press here. Hooks that inside leg.
Oh, no, but he turned it into a sleeper.
Trying to choke out T-Train.
He turned it into a sleeper there.
Pagan's got it locked in.
Is that gonna be enough?
And look at the placement of the ring here. He's got a long way to go to get to that bottom rope.
Absolutely. It was one thing to pick up Pagan again when you're in a standing position, but when you're laying down, it's hard to maneuver that body around.
That's two here.
He got him. It's over.
Lou Santiago calls for the bell there. Chris Pagan does it by submission. What a match. Woo.
win there for Chris Pagan. His first match. I'm incredibly impressed with what we saw.
He just called for a microphone here, GB. Let's see what he's got to say here.
I came out here for 12 weeks, trained here. I lived in a van. I fractured my foot. Offer the opportunity to wrestle here tonight. I'm not going back to Florida with a 5-minute match. So I need more competition. And every student already has a match tonight. So Coach Luke Sampson, I'm calling you out right now.
Wait, what's going on around here? These guys are calling their own matches now, so Chris Pagan says this was not enough. He wants his coach.
He wants some more. And will he answer? Oh, look, here comes Luke Sampson here, one of our trainers.
Luke is not, he's not dressed to wrestle. He was just here to coach.
Are we going to do this right now?
Are you kidding me?
And we know Luke is one of the trainers here. We also know Luke Sampson, one half of the Southeast SWAT team tag team here. Oh, look out.
Oh, wait.
Oh, he's got it with that half Nelson slam. He was looking for it there. But Pagan able to escape under the bottom rope, and now
is Pagan rethinking this?
He might be rethinking what his request there. So are we going to see this later? I don't know what's going to happen here.
I don't know.
Interesting turn of events here.
You never know what's going to happen at a student showcase. I'm shocked.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
We are set for some tag team action here at Nightmare Factory Camp 7 Showcase.
I'll tell you, another impressive team. Of course, the Warden, we've seen him in previous classes, but new here is Jack Ledger. Very intrigued to see what he's going to be bringing to the table in this particular tag team match.
And their opponents.
Well, they're going to have their hands full here as they take on the team of Parker Lee and CJ Montana. I am excited for this one.
I am a longtime fan of Parker Lee, who I think is one of the most athletic gifts to come out of the Nightmare Factory. And it's going to be our first look at CJ Montana. This is going to be an amazing team here. And the rock, paper, scissors to see who goes in the ring first. I kind of like that.
And as you mentioned with the other teams, with the Warden we've seen before, and Parker Lee we've seen before, but the two new guys here, CJ Montana and of course Jack Ledger, we're excited to see them. But starting this match out, we hear the bell, it's going to be the Warden and CJ Montana starting it out.
This is going to be an incredible match. Again, the Warden, as we've seen him before, doing all kinds of things, all over the place at this point, in various promotions. CJ Montana, right here in Atlanta, he's done all kinds of things, including playing basketball and soccer, but I got to give it to him. I love a person who fully commits to whatever it is that they're doing, and right now he fully committed to that flying body press attempt.
Looking for snake eyes in the corner, but Montana able to slide off the back. And the Warden, it backfired for him as he tags in his partner here, Jack Ledger, coming into the hammerlock with CJ Montana now and back to his corner, tagging in his partner, Parker Lee.
And in comes Parker Lee. Parker Lee, again, has done some pretty incredible things. We've seen him over time here at the Nightmare Factory. Here comes a double suplex.
Great tag team work there from Parker Lee and CJ Montana. Pin attempt here. Jack Ledger able to kick out. And now working on the shoulder here is Parker Lee. And of course, Parker Lee, we mentioned that we've seen him plenty of times here at the Nightmare Factory from one of the earlier camps. But he tags back in the brand new CJ Montana.
Quick tags made for Montana and Lee, and one of the things I like about Montana is an avid gamer, or at least he was prior to his pursuit of pro wrestling here at the Nightmare Factory.
Oh, great tag team work there from Parker Lee and Montana. Jack Ledger now with that atomic drop. Great move there from Montana. Like you said, yeah, GB, he gave up that gaming lifestyle to pursue pro wrestling full time.
You know, it's interesting though, because I think there are a lot of skills in the gaming world that help you in the world of pro wrestling. Back suplex there. Look at this. The attention to detail. I love this, the attention to detail, you know, the dedication, the willing to pursue at all costs. You need that as a gamer, and you need that as a pro wrestler. But right now, Jack Ledger is not going to be outdone.
Ledger with those right hands as Montana reeling on the ropes now. And again, look at this. Clearly with the advantage here.
Now, Jack Ledger is not exactly from a wrestling city. He's from a place called Minot, North Dakota. Not a whole lot of things happening there, but I'll tell you this about him. He's been wrestling for 5 years, but this is his first time working with a wrestling school, which I think is really important.
Look out. Oh, great suplex there from Montana.
You know, there are things that you learn, obviously, independently and on your own, but nothing like being in a school to help you fine-tune what it is that you've already learned.
And he just hung up Montana on that top rope. Now going for a pin here.
Down to 2.
Won't be enough. But yeah, you're right, GB. Coming all the way from North Dakota, making the long trek all the way down here to the Nightmare Factory, and there's no better place if you want to become a pro wrestler than right here at the Nightmare Factory. Look out now. Big time chop there from Jack Ledger.
Absolutely. There are countless names that have come from the Nightmare Factory that have been all over the pro wrestling world, and we're seeing some of that happen right here. Ooh, big body slam coming from the Warden.
And the Warden is something else, man. What a powerhouse.
He is a powerhouse, and look at this right now. He is exerting that power over CJ Montana.
Montana in a world of trouble now, a long way from home in enemy territory now, as the Warden just going to town with those right kicks there, those boots right to the midsection, and now Ledger coming in and taking over right where the Warden left off.
You know, you got to wonder with Ledger being in a place like North Dakota, not really being in a part of a school, he's got to feel like he's part of more of a community at this point. Being a part of the Nightmare Factory, all the more reason he wants to be able to prove and get this major victory here at Student Showcase Center.
Not sure what to call that. The Nightmare Stampede. It was boots after boots after boots. And
well,
now,
that's a clear slap.
And now a slap right to the face. The disrespect there from Jack Ledger.
There's no confusion on that one.
Going for a penitent. Here floats over, hooks the outside leg.
Down to 2. And you know, you gotta wonder, obviously those who are coming to this camp, they know how popular these particular showcases are. Thousands and thousands of people watch this worldwide as they're doing right now. And so each of these guys know just how important it is to get a victory on literally this worldwide stage. Big kick.
Interesting offense there as he dropped down and then kicked the leg out of CJ Montana. Another pin attempt, but not going to be enough.
I would dare say that was cerebral in its approach, because if you take out the legs, everything else falls. If you chop a tree at the bottom, the whole tree's got to fall.
Absolutely, both men down up to a vertical basis. But no, still Ledger with the advantages. He's got Montana hung up on the second rope here. You see Parker Lee trying to get this crowd back in it.
Absolutely, he's doing his best to do that. But right now, CJ Montana is in trouble.
Uh-oh, Jack Ledger, look out now.
Again, another cerebral move here coming from Jack Ledger.
Again, taking his time with this pin here. You're right, trying to get in the head, man. It's all about the head game too with Jack Ledger.
And it's interesting because Jack Ledger, as we mentioned, 5 years wrestling experience. In this entire match, this is the very first match for CJ Montana, so he's being tested in a way that really no class could really prove him.
Big back elbow there from Jack Ledger as he tagged in his partner. Here comes the Warden. And now CJ, like you said, in a world of trouble once again.
Meanwhile, the Warden, look,
huge vertical suplex, and he landed hard.
And the Warden is reminding him, just because you went to school doesn't mean I'm going to take it easy on you.
But how about that? Look at the fortitude there. CJ Montana's still able to kick out. But again, still in trouble. Almost made the tag, but not quite. The Warden says, no, not yet.
Now, that is a move that represents a bit of veteran experience. Get him close to the corner, make him think he's getting relief, and then take it away. Great maneuver there from the Warden.
Now the Warden is raking that face right across the rope, and now has him hung up on the second rope here. No, look at this, ties him up now. Oh, and just slingshotted him. Oh, to the way the whiplash there, GB.
This is called punishment.
gonna be enough here. No, not quite. Still somehow able to get that shoulder up.
The Warden is making CJ Montana earn his stripes here tonight, and he may be making Montana rethink this whole design of being a pro wrestler. Was it worth giving up gaming for 4 months to take this kind of beating right now?
Look at the way he's working that arm. He's just bending that neck. Just bending them in ways you're not supposed to be bent.
Absolutely.
But somehow CJ Montana's still able to fight back, but now Warden with a handful of hair shoves him in the corner, being admonished now by our official Paul Santos.
And again, this is smart tag wrestling to keep your opponent in the corner.
But look out now. Look, Montana now fighting back up to the second rope. What's he got behind here? Oh, he's on the back of the Warden.
Smart move in an attempt to use the weight and momentum of the Warden to get to the corner. But again, smart tag wrestling from Jack Ledger as he gets rid of Parker Lee.
And then the gut buster there from the Warden. Another penitent. No. But yeah, you saw that experience there from Ledger. Like you said, taking Lee off the corner there just before the tag could be made. But look, now the Warden, again, slowing things down.
I'm telling you, in this moment right now, everything that Montana has ever known or imagined is being tested. It's being put to the test. His endurance, his desire, his passion, and can he pull it off and at least get to his corner?
Oh, look out there, another back elbow there.
And there it is, he got there.
There's the tag to Lee, and Lee now up and over the top rope. Big back elbow there to Jack Ledger, takes him down with the lariat as well.
Parker Lee, who reminds me of a young Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, with his look, with his agility. Look at this. Incredible maneuvers there for Parker Lee.
Lee into the Warden now. Oh, great move there to the Warden. Pin attempt here. Will it be enough?
Count of 2 for Parker Lee.
Parker Lee coming in like a house of fire.
And Parker Lee recognizes, right, look at this.
Sends him into his own partner. Oh, great work there from Parker Lee. The neck breaker there to the Warden. Inadvertent DDT to Ledger. And
Count of 2.
Almost had him down for a 3 count, but not quite.
You know, and so we were talking about how Montana was tested. Now Jack Ledger is being tested. Was the trip from North Carolina worth it as Parker Lee is taking it to him? But look at the brilliance again of the Warden pulling him back in the corner, getting the tag.
Oh, how about that from the Warden taking down Parker Lee?
That maneuver has taken many others out. And now look at this, Parker Lee. The Warden intentionally is going after CJ Montana.
You're right, Montana, not the legal man now, but yeah, the Warden doesn't care. He just wants to punish everybody.
Good grief.
Oh my goodness.
It looks like Montana reversed that into a DDT of sorts.
Now up on the shoulders. I think they're breaking down here, GB. Look at the almost a GTS of sorts there to Montana. But Parker Lee back up. Gonna roll up Ledger. No, into a cutter. A cutter to Ledger.
Massive cutter, but can he make the pin? And remember,
but the 2 legal men here, I believe, are Parker Lee and the Warden here.
You were believing correctly.
Oh, step up Enziguri there to the Warden. The Warden on spaghetti legs now.
In comes Montana.
Up and over. Oh, that buckshot spear.
Is that going to be
Warden? Oh, look out. Oh!
Smart move. He felt it coming. Moved out of the way.
Parker Lee comes back in. Code breaker there. But a pin attempt on the Warden from Montana.
He got him.
How about that? Montana gets the victory. Oh, man. What a fast-paced match. And what a lot of action there, but it looks like Montana and Parker Lee are loving it from this crowd. The crowd's loving it, and what a victory here at the Student Showcase for Camp 7.
Huge victory. CJ Montana certainly earned that. He got a lot of stripes in this first match, but I think he's prepared to be a pro wrestler as the Nightmare Factory does. He's got the endurance, he's got the stamina, he's got the look, and he has a great partner in Parker Lee.
And yeah, this great crowd, I mentioned it earlier, but I don't know if the camera caught it. Montana's got a fan club over there, the sign that says CJ Montana going bananas. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. What a match.
I absolutely love it. Congratulations to CJ Montana in his first match, getting his first win in the world of pro wrestling.
The following contest is scheduled for 1 fall.
Tom Marciano not endearing himself to the
Wild when you grew up in the mean streets of Chicago. Lots of incredible wrestling talent has come through there. Could Tom Marciano add to that impressive list?
And his opponent. Let's go!
As you heard our lovely ring announcer, Nadia Hunter, say, born and raised right down the street in Atlanta, GA, here comes Jimmy Wild.
Absolutely love that. I love when the hometown boys get an opportunity to enter into this incredible world of pro wrestling. Atlanta is a city deep and rich in wrestling history, as is Chicago. I'm excited to see this clash about to go down.
Ready? Ring the bell!
So here's the bell, and of course we got this guy who, in Marciano, who's known for the underground boxing world, of course undefeated there, but new to the pro wrestling world. Here we go, we got a collar and elbow lockup, center of the ring. That didn't last too long. We'll see both these guys trying to feel each other out.
Well, certainly it wouldn't be the first boxer to transition to the world of wrestling. We recently had, of course, Anthony Ogogo, who has made a huge impact in AEW and in other places, and so I'm sure Marciano would like to follow that particular pattern, and this is a great way to start.
Wild into the hammerlock, now inside headlock takeover now, takes down Marciano, center of the ring. Look at that tight grip there, that S grip he's got. Now into the head scissors there for Marciano.
You know, the exciting thing about this particular pairing is for both of these young men, this is their first match in pro wrestling, and so this is an exciting time for them both. You can see they are very determined. They're very focused, but it's clear Marciano is trying to get the referee to check on something going on with Wild, check perhaps on his hands, something along that nature.
Well, both of these guys were feeling each other out, of course, trading hold for hold. Bit of a standoff there in the early goings of this matchup here. Going to lock up once again, center of the ring. Both these guys just jockeying for position. A quick go behind there for Marciano. You see Wild trying to find a good quick standing switch there. Looking for a mat return, can't quite get the boxer down. Big back elbow there from Marciano, though.
You know, one of the things that we learned in terms of differences between boxing and pro wrestling, for those who were once boxers, they feel almost restricted. All they can do is use their hands. Great drop kick there from Jimmy Wild. All they can do is use their hands. You know, great footwork, but only your hands can provide aggression. When they transition in the world of wrestling, they now find they can use their entire body to be far more aggressive and to exact more punishment.
An attempt here from Jimmy Wild. A great splash in the corner, followed by that suplex, and going for a pin once again. Staying right on the attack here is Jimmy Wild.
You know, and so to that point, it makes me wonder if Tom Marciano right now is trying to figure out how exactly do I transition from just using my hands to using the rest of my body. And while he's, well, I was going to say while he's thinking about that, he was being overcome, but he just figured some of that out right now, that he could use the ropes. And look at that.
What a slam there, center of the ring after the shot to the lower back, but Wild able to get that shoulder up. Now it looks like Wild maybe has a reach, but Tom Marciano, though, of course, has a bit of a strength advantage as he's taking advantage here of Wild in the corner, and now laying those right hands to him, but Wild fighting right back.
Absolutely, they're both trading those forearms, but now you see Tom Marciano, again, being very aggressive, shoulder blocks, going on with those forearms, and now dragging him into the corner.
Face first, right into that top turnbuckle now. Marciano using those shoulders. And look at the driving the feet. That's like a football move. They teach you that in football practice, driving the dummy, you know? So driving those feet and digging that shoulder deeper into the gut.
Absolutely, bearing that shoulder in so that, but look at this.
Now.
Great sidewalk slam there.
Nicely done from Marciano.
Count of two.
Neglecting to hook the leg, though, might have cost him there. As Wild able to get that shoulder up.
But I'm sure that's another one of those things that you're getting used to when you're transitioning from boxing into wrestling. You don't usually have to hook the leg. You're more concerned about a knockout. So look, it's almost like a kid playing with a new toy. You start figuring out all these new things that you can do and all these new ways you can work. So he's figuring out how he can use his feet, how he can use his arms, how he can use the rest of his body in pro wrestling.
Absolutely, I was thinking the same thing. It's crazy to see this guy who's known for boxing using those feet, but a big cross body from Jimmy Wild. Will it be enough? Not quite. Marciano able to get up and answers right back with a knee to the midsection. Another clubbing blow right to the back. You're right, GP. He's figuring it out using these clubbing forearms, using the feet, using all these other things that he's not used to using.
And look at that, and there he used that hand, but he could use it in an illegal way, and again, the referee didn't see it, so he can't disqualify him.
That was a smart move for a bit of a newbie here to pro wrestling. A smart move to hide it from the ref there. Double underhook, look for that butterfly suplex, and he landed hard on the tailbone there. You see him favoring that lower back now is Jimmy Wild.
That was really impressive there from Marciano, as again, he is figuring out what he can and can't do, and he's like a kid at Christmas right now. He's figuring it out, and he's liking it while figuring it out on the fly.
What's he got in mind here? Stepping out to the ring apron now, perhaps going to go up.
Who wants to see
top?
450?
He said he wants to see a 450.
Oh, for 450, but
Oh, not worth it.
wow. He tells this great crowd here at the Nightmare Factory that they're not worth it and just steps over.
I was actually ready to see the 450.
I was looking forward to it myself.
Meanwhile, Wild is coming back, almost looking like he's boxing with body shots there, but there's a reversal coming from Marciano. Big leap over for a sunset flip.
Sunset flip if he can get him over, but the stronger. Oh, no!
Smart move there from Wild.
How about that? Wild waited for him to wind up with that punch and hook the leg and able to bring him down for a pin attempt. Now both men feeling it right now. Both men have a lot taken out of them here in this matchup.
Double clothesline there, and it is though we have hit the reset button. They're both on the ground now trying to figure out who can regain momentum to kind of start afresh here in this matchup.
Both men slowly struggling to get back to their feet. Who will make it up first? Marciano gets up, and right after him is Jimmy Wild. Jimmy Wild blocks a punch, hits one of his own, blocks another one, hits another right hand.
You know, it's interesting, we talked about both of these guys having their first match. We talked a lot about Marciano, but look at this. Whoa!
Code red there. Will it be enough? No.
Almost. That was impressive.
Jimmy Wild out of nowhere with that code red, and he almost had a 3 count.
Well, here's the interesting thing about Wild. He's played 3 years in college football at LaGrange, and he made the decision, I want pro wrestling so bad, I'm leaving college, I'm leaving football to pursue pro wrestling. So this is just as big for him as it is for Tom Marciano.
Marciano now fired up after he feels like he's been humiliated there after that code red. And then, a step of Enziguri right to the teeth of Marciano, and another lariat there from Jimmy Wild. Takes him down again, followed by another one.
And Wild is on the move right now. Big swinging neck breaker there.
Great move there from Jimmy Wild, and he is fired up, and so is this crowd here at the Nightmare Factory.
And now Jimmy Wild is figuring out what he does next at this point.
Marciano, there you go, Marciano back to his feet. This crowd coming alive here, but Marciano with the knees right up under the chin there, and Jimmy Wild face first into that top turnbuckle once again.
This particular match has been back and forth with momentum switching between the two, but now it looks like...
Wait, can we get the 450?
Perhaps
I don't know.
He's coming up for real.
He's going up top again, but no.
Took too long.
Jimmy Wild meets him with a forearm, takes him down. Both men in a precarious position here. What do they have in mind here, GB?
This is unbelievable. They're
going
going
up
to
top,
top of their
no way.
first match. Superplex.
A superplex from Jimmy Wild to Tom Marciano.
Impressive maneuver. It took obviously a lot out of both of them. That was pretty daring.
Wow, what a risk here. Early in their careers here, their first match here at the Nightmare Factory, pin attempt.
And I love it. The crowd was chanting, "This is wild." I dig that.
My goodness, what a matchup we're getting here at the Nightmare Factory. What a match.
And they're really both now having to pull into deep reserves. It's interesting because college football is used to going to deep reserves, but look at this.
Just tuning up the band.
Could it be a super kick, perhaps?
Perhaps. Waiting for Marciano to get back to his feet, and he goes for the super kick, but no, it gets blocked.
Oh,
and
but there's that right hand.
The right hand from that boxer. Tom Marciano, pin attempt here. Will it be enough? He's got
With
the tights.
tights.
He's got the tights. Oh, the ref didn't see it. Tom Marciano. Wow.
Marciano is running around like Rocky. Yo, Adrian, I did it. I won the big one. That's exactly how he feels, and I guess he could say that wherever Adrian might be because he just got his first win in the world of pro wrestling.
And you know, if the ref can't see it, the ref can't call it. But hey, by hook or by crook, a win's a win here in your first match at the Nightmare Factory.
But an amazing showing for Jimmy Wild. I'll tell you what, I look forward to seeing him all around the wrestling world. He's got an extremely bright future.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Angélica Risk is here. She, of course, is a graduate of the Nightmare Factory, but she's been all over the place. We've seen her on AEW, we've seen her in a number of spaces, and now she is here, the spicy quesadilla, dare I say, to spice things up here for Class 7.
She's gonna have her hands full here, taking on the newcomer from Camp 7, Saraya Saber here. This is gonna be a good one, GB.
This is gonna be a really good one. Did you hear that? 6 feet tall. That is special. You don't see that every day in the world of pro wrestling. So Saraya Saber already has an amazing look, and I'm intrigued to see what she's going to do in the ring here in her very first match here at the Nightmare Factory.
And another one from right down the road here in Marietta, Georgia. In front of this hometown crowd here in the Nightmare Factory for her first matchup. This one's going to be special here.
It is going to be very, very special. But what a challenge Saraya has, taking on the experienced Angélica Risk. And the thing about Angélica, again, she's been around the world, and well, she might be able to find her baby, but for sure, she has found several great moments in the world of pro wrestling for her already. And that experience matters, especially in a moment like this.
Split some wigs, get some gut. Ring the bell.
There's our bell, and we're ready to get underway here with this matchup. And of course, right off the bat, as you can see, Saraya Saber clearly with the height advantage, the reach advantage. And look at that, reaching for the handshake there, trying to show some great sportsmanship, but Angélica Risk not having any of it.
You're right, you know, the optics of this would make this look almost like it's David versus Goliath, but the experience factor in terms of the tail of the tape would make Angélica Risk Goliath and Saraya Saber David.
And how about that with the side headlock takeover there? Angélica Risk into the head scissors though from Saber.
A very impressive head scissors there from Saber. Saber, who certainly is one who likes a lot of strikers, has paid attention to a lot of folks who prefer strong style and strong technical wrestling. So I'm intrigued to see how she is incorporating this into her style.
Turning the tables there with a side headlock takeover of her own. And she's got Angélica Risk reeling down in the center of the ring now. And Angélica trying to get back to a vertical base, and she does.
And certainly Risk is no stranger to being the smaller person in a match. She's figured out how to overcome that before. Let's see if she can overcome it in this scenario.
Saber sent into the ropes with a huge shoulder tackle there, taking down Angélica Risk. Risk going for the trip there, but up and over. Now looking for an arm drag, but Saber just too strong. Into a huge scoop slam there from Saraya Saber.
Saraya, there's a hip toss there from Saraya Saber, and I think Saraya right now is starting to really figure out how best to use her size advantage in a moment like this.
You talk about figuring it out. Angélica Risk going for the leg there, trying to take down the much taller opponent, but now Saber back with the advantage now into the hammerlock. And you see the height difference there. Angélica Risk reaching for the head, but not quite able to reach it.
And you see Angélica is having to really alter indeed how she would deal with her opponent. She's giving up over a foot in size, which that is definitely something that she's not accustomed to.
Wow, Saber able to escape, and now avoids that clothesline. Look for maybe a butterfly suplex. Nicely done there, Saraya Saber. But quickly back to her feet is Angélica Risk. And she got mine here, looking for perhaps a swoop and a nose. Risk able to escape now. And again, going after those legs.
That's the smart move there from Risk. Again, Risk knows you got to take the tree down at the trunk. And once you get things down to size, then you can start really making some moves, as we're seeing Risk do right now.
Showing off the experience advantage there, but she takes Saber face first right into that top turnbuckle and then right back to that left knee.
And again, this is intriguing. Saraya Saber is certainly being tested as we knew she would. You know, now that we're getting over the fact that there's a size advantage, and again, Angélica has worked things down to where Saber's on the ground, and at this point, the advantage goes to Angélica Risk.
Risk now exactly with that height advantage now that she's grounded Saber and still working on that leg. She's got that left leg, that left knee tied up in that bottom rope. Being admonished by Lou Santiago, our official here, taking advantage of that 5 count.
Absolutely, this is that experience where Risk knows the rules backward and forward, knows how to take full advantage of these particular moments using the ropes and wherever else around the ring.
Now still just working on that left knee. My goodness. Smart attack here from Angélica Risk.
And we're seeing multiple sides of Risk. We've watched Risk grow over the last year by leaps and bounds, and it's these types of things that show it. You know, at times she can look to be flashy, at times she can look to be super agile. This time she's figuring out she needs a different strategy in her approach, and she's exacting that, but now we're seeing, of course, Saraya Saber make a comeback. Ooh, Risk stopped.
Yeah, temporarily she was firing back with those elbows, but now Risk right back on the attack. And again, looks like she's gonna perhaps go to work on the leg still.
And that's focus.
She got my energy. Look at this.
Look at this.
Talking about trying to snap the knee, trying to snap the leg and dislocate the knee there.
At this rate, it could be the first and last match for Saber if that knee gets in trouble.
And look at her just mocking. Yeah, and Angélica Risk just mocking Saber there.
And here's the thing, Risk understands a win is a win everywhere, and so she's not taking any particular opportunity lightly at all. She knows she needs to get a win. She does not want Saraya Saber to say her first win was over Angélica Risk.
Risk charges in, but eats a back elbow there from Saber. But Saber, you see favoring that leg though. But she gets the other one, the good leg up there, right up under the chin of Angélica Risk. Charges in and misses a clothesline. Oh! But Risk right back to that knee again with those lethal kicks.
This is a smart strategy again from Angélica Risk. Go after the legs, and now it makes everything else easier to attempt. And here's the thing, we know Risk usually pretty flamboyant and flashy, but right now she is focused because she understands that's what it's going to take to get the win in this matchup.
And you're right, if you're Angélica Risk, you're coming from an earlier camp here at the Nightmare Factory. She's got more experience. She doesn't want to be embarrassed by one of these rookies coming in here, but look.
That's a signature of hers right there.
Work her what her mama gave her, and oh, went for the hip attack, but nobody home.
Absolutely, I don't think mama was prepared for that one.
Absolutely not. Saber able to avoid it and hits that the double axe handle there on the back elbow, it looks like, maybe up under the chin.
And Saber is still favoring that knee, but look at that, enough strength.
She's fired up. Saber is fired up now, and so is this crowd here at the Nightmare Factory.
Absolutely, and now the question is, now that Saber's being tested, what is she going to do with this?
She got in mind here, GB.
I don't know, she's figuring something out, but look at this.
Looking for a big back suplex there to Risk. That's her in the center of the ring. Won't be enough. Lateral press.
Ooh, count of 2, almost a 3 count there.
Unable to get a leg hook, but still trying to get her down. Almost got the 3 count.
And Saber again is figuring out, again, favoring that leg, which I completely understand because Risk did a lot of work on that. Can she get another butterfly suplex in?
Trying to get her hands clasped behind the back of Risk, but Risk still going after the leg.
Risk,
oh! Man, I tell you what, Saber hit hard. Risk scoops the arm, hooks the leg. I don't know.
Count of 2.
Not quite. I thought that might be it, GB.
Yeah, I thought so too. Risk again has been very, very consistent, continuing to go after the leg in this particular match. And now the question is, as the fans are behind Saber, will that distract Risk from figuring out what she needs to do next?
Risk charging into the corner, and there's that hip attack.
She got on it.
She hit the target that time. Oh, and a little insult to injury there. I'll let you call that, GB. I'm not sure what she...
Well, the call is real simple. Saber's in trouble.
Folks, you saw it.
Saber's in big trouble.
Uh-oh. And now Risk dragging her out of the corner just a little bit, just to get her away from the rope. She can make a pin attempt here. And she does, but no.
Almost
Saber
enough.
Able to get that left shoulder up just in time.
Big tough girl, huh?
Uh-oh. Wrist tape is coming
Big
on,
tough girl,
GB.
huh? I'll show you tough.
She means business now.
You
Now
know
she's
what it
dragging
takes me.
Saber back into the corner. What has she got in mind here? Stepping over the midsection there of Saraya Saber. Now Angélica Risk stepping up to the...
Risk is going...
Calling for perhaps
Oh, no, I'm not sure what.
Oh, wait a second, though. Saraya Saber back up to her feet just in time here.
Yeah, Risk took too much time on this, and now Saber.
Oh, and a kick right to the forehead as she got her head stuck in the top rope there. Oh, a tight roll up here. Will it be enough? No.
Almost. Saber did the smart thing by using her reach and her range and leaning all of that advantage in holding on to that particular pin. It was almost enough.
What a match here. Cross chop right up under the throat there to Saraya Saber from Risk. Risk into the ropes. Story here. Trying to get a quick roll. No.
Smart move.
Maybe into a heel hook perhaps.
That's exactly what it is.
Here it is.
Putting the pressure on that knee that Risk has been working on the entire match.
But can Saber use those long limbs, those long arms? Can she reach the bottom rope? She's got a ways to go, but can she crawl her way? Can she make it?
Saber's in a lot of pain. She's in a lot of pain right now.
Fingertip length away. Oh, but she gets dragged back to the center of the ring.
And all that reach is now in trouble.
She's got it locked in deep. Pulling back now, but look at the strength of Saber. Saber rolling and scratching her way.
She's literally pulling Angélica Risk to the ropes.
Can she make it? Can she make it, GB? She's there. She's got the ropes. She's got the ropes. And Angélica Risk not relinquishing the hold here. Finally, letting up.
But I understand the mentality there behind Risk. She did more damage on that knee by holding it out for an additional 4 seconds.
You're right, Risk taking advantage of the referee's count there. Look out, charges into the
dial it up.
And she dials it up, but nobody home as Saber gets out of the way.
Phone's still ringing. Nobody answered.
Go for the kick there. She got caught and hit face first hard in the center of the ring. Saber is fired up, and look out! Oh! A Kinshasa right up under the chin. Will it be enough? Can she get her over? Trying to get her over. Hooks the outside leg.
She got it.
That's it. Saraya Saber does it.
Huge victory there for Saraya Saber. We got to see her heart. We got to see her passion. She had to dig deep dealing with that knee injury, but managed to pull it out for an incredible finisher and a big first win for Saraya Saber.
What a great match and a huge debut there for Saraya Saber. She's feeling it with that left leg, but you know what? She had the heart, she had the passion, that fortitude. She was able to survive Angélica Risk, and what a victory here tonight.
A massive victory over someone who has experience all around this country. Saraya Saber can go home tonight and say she won the big one because she absolutely did. Woo.
What a match. Great job.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Trevor Blackwell has been really doing this for quite some time, and now here he is back in the Nightmare Factory. He's been wrestling for almost 2 years, and in those 2 years, I don't think he's ever asked for fans to cheer for him. Not once.
And his opponent.
DiMartino making his debut here tonight, his first ever wrestling match. Man, what a great camp he's had. And I tell you what, he's got that martial arts background, Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, but now new to pro wrestling. And he's got his hands full here with Trevor Blackwell, who we've seen plenty of times here in the Nightmare Factory.
Absolutely, I'm really excited to see this match. DiMartino absolutely came prepared for the occasion. He's got more cuts than a diamond right now. Have you seen this guy?
I'm telling you, chiseled out of stone is DiMartino, and now they're gonna lock up, collar and elbow, center of the ring, jockeying for position here. Both men about the same build, about the same size, but Trevor Blackwell now with the early advantage gets DiMartino into the corner.
Yeah, they're about the same height. They are slightly different builds, I'll say that. But what I will say for sure, this is gonna be the real challenge. Experience versus brand new, being a novice in this business. Now, a novice in this business doesn't necessarily mean a novice to contact sports. As you mentioned, DiMartino with experience in jiu-jitsu and taekwondo, so he's not foreign to this. The question now is, how will he convert this into pro wrestling? And right now, he looks like he's converting it just fine.
Pretty sure in the martial arts, you're not allowed to do the inverted atomic drop, but he nailed it and hit the arm drag, and now with the advantage. But no, Trevor Blackwell fires back with a kick to the midsection.
You know, that's one of the things we've been talking about. It's been a theme throughout this show. Folks coming from other sports into pro wrestling and discovering the freedom that they have in pro wrestling in terms of how they can use their bodies offensively and defensively.
Martino now has Blackwell in the corner, going to take him across the ring, taking him on a tour there, face first, and what a shot there to Blackwell, sent him flying across the ring. Now, going to take him over now with that arm drag, and then step-up kick. So we talk about the martial arts.
I love it.
How about that?
Reminds me of Jet Li. Pretty impressive.
Up and over to the outside to the ring apron goes DiMartino. That shot from the shoulder into the midsection there to Blackwell. Springboard off the top, but nobody home. He rolls through, though, back to his feet. And perhaps a sunset flip. He's got it there. Pin attempt.
Count of only one on that one. DiMartino is in control of this matchup, and I don't know that any of us expected that right out the gate.
Got springs in his leg. Do you see that drop kick?
Oh, but look at that. That got stopped really, really quickly by Trevor Blackwell. And, you know, Blackwell is more accustomed to being a tag team wrestler. As part of the Southeast SWAT team, they've won tag team championships really all across the independent world. And Trevor Blackwell is now really deciding, you know, to focus on his singles career right now. And so he definitely needs this win over DiMartino.
Planted that knee firmly in the back, right in the spine there of DiMartino. Slides under the rope, and then a shot right up under the chin from the floor. Trevor Blackwell hearing about it from this crowd.
Now that move certainly has Rhodes' influence, no doubt about that.
Pin attempt there, but just two is DiMartino able to get the shoulder up. Now he's reeling in the corner, but he's back to his feet.
Well, it's interesting. DiMartino already has been super impressive. And look at that reversal, and he's taking control once again here.
Left hand followed by the kicks to the gut. But now Blackwell firing back once again, showing that experience.
You know, one of the things we've learned certainly with these student showcases is promoters all over the country and around the world really watch these showcases to see and scout talent, see who some of the next great things are, and certainly I think they're seeing this in this tag team, in this singles match right here.
Great execution there for Blackwell with that suplex. You see DiMartino holding that lower back, that back of his neck as well. Blackwell slowly getting back to his feet now.
And Blackwell understands, again, the experience factor to really slow down what DiMartino is trying to do and enact punishment just like that. Those knees in the gut, they hurt. They may not be flashy, but they hurt.
That's what it's all about, wearing down his opponent. That's exactly what Blackwell's been trying to do here, and he's been successful thus far. You see DiMartino trying to shove him off, trying to get a little bit of a respite here, but now he's finally firing back with those right hands.
That's it. DiMartino is really quick, as you can see. Oh, but he gets slowed down there right into the turnbuckle.
Just when you think he's getting the advantage back, Trevor Blackwell stops it right on the dime here, and now a foot right to the shoulder, and trying to get him back to his feet, and he does.
You know, that's the other interesting thing for someone like Blackwell, who right now is about 2 years experience. Look at this.
Look at the string.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. Looks like he dropped it right on his head just about. Woo. What a move there from Blackwell. Going to roll him over. Shoots the half, makes the pin, but no. DiMartino able to escape at the last second. Now a rear waistlock here from Blackwell.
You know, it's interesting. Blackwell, as he travels across the country with barely 2 years experience, walks into a lot of matches sometimes being the least experienced. But when you walk into a space like this where you are the most experienced person in the ring, it really kind of changes your approach to a matchup.
Looking high risk here from the second rope. Oh, DiMartino gets a foot up, and he caught Trevor Blackwell right under the chin, rolls him up here.
Yeah, and sometimes that approach means you don't exactly pursue things the way you might normally because you feel like, oh, I'm facing someone in their first match. I don't need to pull out all the stops, and I think that just changed with Blackwell and that back suplex.
Big back suplex there from Blackwell, rolls him over, lateral press here. You see him holding a wrist down, but he did not hook a leg, and that might have cost him.
I think it definitely cost him. Blackwell at some point could regret not hooking the leg if this match doesn't go his way.
Look at this, almost like a dragon sleeper, but he's also clubbing the chest with those forearms.
That is painful, extremely painful. Now he picks,
Into that elbow drop here. Pin attempt, no. And look looking at DiMartino fired that right shoulder up off the mat.
Listen, he's very clear. He's not just barely getting out of things. He wants to show, no, I've still got a lot left in the tank.
He says this might be my first match, but I ain't going out like that.
Absolutely.
Now DiMartino trying to get back to a vertical base. He finally does. Fires that right hand once again right to the chin.
And the crowd is starting to rumble behind DiMartino.
They sure are. The man from Brooklyn, New York, firing away with those right hands once again. Trevor Blackwell in trouble here. Gets sent across. No, going to reverse it. And a springboard cross body there from DiMartino. Hooks the outside leg, but no.
Just barely a count of one, not quite two.
And that's got to frustrate you, GB. You hit a big impact move like that and only get a 1 count.
Absolutely, it's got to frustrate him. And I don't know how much more is in the tank for DiMartino, but certainly I'm sure he thought that that particular move might be one to take this thing out.
From the ring apron now, back elbow to the back of the head and a knee right to the chest. DiMartino in trouble once again. Might be coming outside in here the hard way.
Oh, look at this. Oh, nice reversal.
Yeah, Blackwell tried to muscle him over, but he escaped. Quick roll through there from DiMartino. Ducks a clothesline, into the ropes he goes. Looking for maybe a sunset flip perhaps, but no. Pin attempt here from Blackwell. Reversal there from DiMartino.
Count of two.
Ooh, back and forth pin attempts here. The action is fast and furious. And look out, a double cross body. Both men with the same idea, and both men hit hard.
And now they're both sitting there without breath, trying to figure out, okay, let me catch my breath. Let me figure out what I can do to be able to regain the advantage in this match while thinking about what exactly do I do next.
And I'm thinking, GB, the man that gets to his feet first is going to have the clear advantage, and that man is Trevor Blackwell. But look, he's just slowly stalking DiMartino. Maybe a mistake here, giving him too much time to get back to his feet. And look at this. Martino now with the right hand. Blocks that one, hits another right hand.
I love what Martino is doing. Again, he's showing a lot of fervor, a lot of passion, and he's showing he wants the advantage. Oh, step up Enziguri there.
DiMartino with the Enziguri, you're right, takes down Blackwell. Blackwell back up quickly, though. Gonna get sent across the ring. No, gonna reverse it here since DiMartino in, but DiMartino with that forearm up under the chin, and another one takes down Blackwell.
DiMartino just continues to have relentless offense. His offense is going like the Energizer Bunny. It just keeps going and going and going. There's no stop button at this point.
Said it before, he's got springs in those legs with that beautiful drop kick now. In the corner, he's got an idea here, clearly, GB. What's he got in mind? Oh! A running kick right up under the chin. Will it be enough? Lateral press. No, not quite.
And now you can start to tell, okay, how many more ideas are left in the tank of DiMartino? That's the question at hand.
DiMartino, man, for a first match. I'm telling you, a lot of these students here, GB, you would have no idea it's a first match. Again, a credit to the great school here at the Nightmare Factory and all these great trainers here.
Absolutely, the trainers are doing an amazing job. As you can tell,
hang on. Oh.
And they're teaching them the basics for sure, but look at this. Here we go.
Oh, what a side slam there from Trevor Blackwell. That's got to be it, right?
Not exactly.
No, are you kidding me?
DiMartino, I'm telling you, he is something special.
Woo, the fortitude of DiMartino here. Matthew DiMartino, I tell you what, now out to the ring apron, it's something else, GB, I tell you.
It's special. He's got a simple purpose. He came to win.
Smart move there from DiMartino from the outside. He hangs up Blackwell on the top rope, and now
he's got an idea here.
Springboard forearm.
And he got all of it.
He got it, hooks both legs. What a deep stack here. He got him. Wow, what a match. Woo.
When he came in this ring, I knew he had an amazing look. I knew there was something special to him. And we saw fortitude, we saw endurance, we saw passion, we saw stick-to-itiveness, and we saw a never-say-die attitude. And that's what pulled him through in this match against Trevor Blackwell.
Wow. You would have told me first match you had me fooled because that springboard forearm, are you kidding me?
Listen, I don't know if I could do that with 24 weeks of training.
Wow.
Woo.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Right back to the tag team division here. GB, more tag team action. And some people call it the business. Some people call it the Rock and Shock Connection.
Well, I was going to mention that. Yeah, they've got multiple names. They are about as confused as Manti Te'o on social media. I mean, this is kind of crazy. Whoever they call themselves, they are certainly making it their business to rock and shock whoever their opponents are tonight.
Caleb Teninty, Casey Rocker coming in here fired up, but the crowd definitely not behind him.
Not at all.
They are the House of Payne, Joe Payne, and the Tennessee Copperhead, Nick Stevens, and they are bringing the fight here tonight to the business.
Both of these guys, young upstarts, obviously products here of the Nightmare Factory Camp 7. I am very intrigued to see what this new tag team is going to come up with here in this particular matchup.
The business, of course, with the experience here tonight. Coming from a previous camp here at the Nightmare Factory. Of course, you've got House of Payne coming in as the underdogs.
Business ready.
I'll tell you what, they've had a great camp, and I think the business knows it. But they are not lacking confidence, are they, GB?
Not at all. That's the thing about the business. Not only do they not lack confidence, but they've been all over the place to build their experience, and they gain wins, they gain confidence, they fought legends, and so now they're looking to continue to establish themselves as perhaps the most charismatic team to come out of the Nightmare Factory.
Caleb Teninty starting it out for the business. You got Tennessee Copperhead, Nick Stevens starting it out for the House of Payne here.
That's Caleb Teninty. Teninty. Yeah.
Now with the wrist control here is Teninty. Look, gets reversed there by Nick Stevens.
So here's my question. Speaking of Teninty, is he the rock or the shock of the connection?
Well, Casey is Casey Rocker.
Okay,
So I guess that would make him the rock, right?
Makes sense.
And Teninty would be the shock.
That makes perfect sense. Sure. The question is, will they be shocked here by this tag team of the House of Payne?
Copperhead there, taking him down with that shoulder tackle. Into the ropes he goes, and Teninty looking for a hip toss, but no, it gets reversed to a hip toss from the Copperhead.
I like this in a big, look at that. He held that slam. That is super important because, again, that allows for more damage on the way down. Impressive maneuver there by the Copperhead, the Tennessee Copperhead, Nick Stevens.
Stevens out with the advantage, taking him into enemy territory now. Joe Payne going to tag in. Going up to the second turnbuckle. What's he got in mind here? Double axe handle right across the arm there. Caleb Teninty.
Joe Payne has a really neat look to him. And of course, he's been, believe it or not, wrestling doing amateur wrestling since age 6. So this kind of comes second nature to him. First match in the pros.
Oh, double axe handle there from the Copperhead there to Teninty. Teninty in a world of trouble here. They're working over that left arm. And now a handful of hair right in the vision of the referee.
Listen,
Takes him
Teninty
back into his home territory now.
tagging into KC Rocker. These two have never met a rule that they weren't willing to break.
Rocker, look at Rocker over the top rope. Wow, he hit his own teammate.
They miscalculated that one for sure.
And now the arm wringer there takes over the Rocker. And again, Copperhead, man, I tell you, Nick Stevens now working on the arm of Casey Rocker with the advantage here.
I love this look. I love this feel. They're doing some great things. And again, Stevens has played football and baseball in high school, so he's no stranger to athletics, no stranger to team sports, which makes this tag team special. But these guys are trading chops.
Goodness. Turning into a chop fest here. Teninty entering the ring illegally, but here comes Joe Payne as well to even the odds.
Oh, wow.
Wow, things really breaking down here in this tag team matchup.
That open slap never feels good, and it always kind of jars you and wakes you up in a unique way.
Holding out. Oh, it backfired there on the business. The business there looking to whip the members of the House of Payne into each other, but it backfired as House of Payne able to reverse it.
Absolutely. House of Payne is giving the business the business.
Wow. Big time double hip toss there and a double back elbow there to Teninty. Both members of the business, or the Rocket Shock connection, whatever you want to call them. They're both outside the ring now, reeling and trying to gather their thoughts here.
You know, with that said, I am really impressed with what I'm seeing in terms of chemistry and continuity between the House of Payne. Whoa!
Look out, big collision there on the outside.
And no sooner than I say that, we see the chemistry of the Rocket Shock connection, or the business, or whoever they are at this point.
AC Rocker now, only man in the ring. We see Teninty now throwing in. Who we got there? That's Stevens who's thrown back in the ring now.
That's right. These guys are the legal men in this tag match. And, you know, for all of the antics that we have seen from the business, one thing is for certain. These guys are confident and they are successful. And, again, they're looking to reign supreme in this tag team matchup.
Tennessee Copperhead in a world of trouble here. He's getting worked over by both members of the business. And a big shot there from Teninty right to the chest from Nick Stevens.
Strong forearm. And, again, some people might underestimate the business, thinking that perhaps they're too small, but what they may not have in size, they make up for in confidence and in dastardly deeds and in strategy.
You saw Stevens there fighting back temporarily, but it wasn't going to be enough now. Oh, look at Rocker tagging back in. Oh, up off the back of his partner with that step-up kick right to the side of the face, and then a short arm lariat there from Teninty. Rocker going for a pin here, hooks the outside leg, but no. Stevens able to get that left shoulder up just in time.
I am impressed with the things that we are seeing, of course, from the business. They have really grown leaps and bounds since their first camp here at the Nightmare Factory.
Rocker, though, cutting off Stevens there as he was getting ready, trying to make that tag to Joe Payne on the outside. Now just trying to slow him down, trying to cut off that air supply.
You know, it's so interesting when we saw both Caleb Teninty and Casey Rocker in previous classes, you know, when they were just kind of really cutting their teeth, they were both kinder, gentler guys. They were guys who were just happy to be in the business, loving the crowd, but of course, as time has progressed, they figured out a path that is working for them. I'm intrigued to see what kind of path we're going to eventually see for the House of Payne.
And Stevens was so close to that tag, but Casey Rocker cut him off and then hit that high knee in the corner. Now Teninty back in as they're going to do a tag team maneuver here. What do they have in mind? Oh, my goodness. Inverted atomic drop into a suplex. What a move there.
Some unique emphasis there from Caleb Teninty.
A little business with pleasure, but no. Stevens able to get that shoulder up just in time once again.
And right now, Nick Stevens isn't thinking about a year from now, 6 months from now, or 3 weeks from now. He's trying to figure out, how do I get in the corner and tag in Joe Payne?
Joe Payne itching to get back into this matchup. But no, not going to happen yet. It's like you said, GP. Stevens still in enemy territory. He's a long way from home.
Absolutely, a very long way from home, and it doesn't look like he's going to get home anytime soon. Not if the business have their way with it.
Teninty now back up to that second turnbuckle. What's he got in mind here?
And this one,
look at Stevens able to get that boot up just in time.
That is the real challenge, of course, of the business. Sometimes they wait too long in antagonizing the crowd and their opponents.
Rocker almost got the boot as well, but he blocked it, and he gets sent into his own partner, and they might have knocked heads there. Oh, look out!
That is not the position you want to be in on a Saturday night.
Not so much.
And this makes way, of course, for Nick Stevens to finally make his way and tag. There it is, the tag to Joe Payne.
Up and over the top rope comes Joe Payne, and Joe Payne taking down both members of the business, bringing the House of Payne. And there it is, another lariat there for Teninty.
He's bringing both Rock and Shock to the business right now. Joe Payne is all over these guys.
Teninty gets some. Rocker gets some. Look out now. Both members of the business in the corner, and a huge splash from Joe Payne.
There is enough pain to go around for all of the business.
Scoop slam there to Teninty. And another one. Look out. Here it comes.
Now you got to say it like DJ Khaled. Another one.
Well, I'll let you do that.
Another one.
There you go.
There it is.
Joe Payne, man, bringing this crowd to their feet here at the Nightmare Factory. And a huge spinning spine buster there. Hooks the leg. Will it be enough? Teninty in. Teninty in to bring it up just in time.
Big move there from Teninty to save this match, because this match was as good as over.
Teninty now the legal man as he officially tagged in. Rocker there, both of them looking for they planted him face first in the center of the ring. My goodness, Teninty there with the hook of the leg. Will it be enough?
That was the face of the business, and that almost meant the end of the match.
Looked like Steven's able to get in there and push the pile over just in time to break up the 3 count.
Just in time, because this match again was almost over, and now it seems as though things are back even. This crowd getting behind the House of Payne. Will that be enough for the House of Payne to be able to get what they need in terms of momentum?
All 4 guys in the ring now, and this is just turning into a brawl. Oh, both members of the business going for kicks, but it gets blocked. And both members of House of Payne with the advantage. Sends the business into the ropes. Oh, a double scoop. No, not quite.
Oh, smart maneuver there from the business.
Business able to escape.
Uh-oh. Oh, no, that was the rock and shock.
Nobody there. Oh, into a stunner from Stevens.
Oh, no.
Look out now.
Oh,
in
no.
a precarious position. Wait a second.
They're headed for self-destruction.
That was, I guess, a self-destroyer.
You got that right.
Wait a second. And now, look for a double choke slam? Are you kidding me?
No way.
He just planted Teninty. Joe Payne with the pin. The House of Payne does it.
Wow. Nick Stevens, Joe Payne, they're the House of Payne, and they just got a massive win over the business, the Rock and Shock connection. What an impressive victory here. What a great way to start their career in the world of pro wrestling.
I tell you, there is no shortage of great talent here coming out of the Nightmare Factory, and that's just another example right there, GB. What a matchup.
The following contest is scheduled for 1 fall.
Say what? I'm working, I'm on my way.
Introducing first, weighing more than his opponent, from the 410,
Prime Works off work. Let me just say this right now. No knock to anybody, but of everybody in this class, you could argue this is the most charismatic person in this entire class. From the moment he walks out, he's Prime Works off work. And I don't know that he's really ever off work because he's always on brand.
Nobody quite like Prime, GB.
And apparently that's why people don't like him.
and his opponent.
Let's go to him. Well, here comes Hell-Bent Trent, and quite a contingent has shown up here at the Nightmare Factory tonight. Lots of friends and family here to support Hell-Bent Trent.
I gotta tell you, I love the name, Hell-Bent Trent, as I love the name Prime Works, Offwork. The names alone are fantastic for me in this matchup.
This is going to be a great matchup. Both of these guys had a great camp. And just a little backstory here for Trent. Trent's grandmother, sadly, passed away during the camp.
Yeah.
Our thoughts and prayers to his family, to his friends. But he told us before the show here tonight that this match, right here, right now, is dedicated to the memory of his grandmother.
And that is certainly a lot of pressure to put on yourself for sure. Meanwhile, as sentimental and certainly our hearts are going out to Trent and his family, Prime Works Offwork could care less. He's like, this is about a win. This is about a major platform, and he is not going off-work no matter how sentimental the situation is. Look at the look on his face. It tells you everything.
That's right. Trent also called this a dog fight tonight. He called Prime the big dog. He called himself the underdog. He said this was going to be a dog fight.
Well, and you can see why. Certainly the size advantage goes to Prime Works. And right now, again, Hell-Bent Trent is certainly going to have to depend on his passion and his attitude. It's interesting. These two are so different. You've got Prime Works, who, of course, played college football. He was an outside linebacker at Morgan State University. Shout out to the HBCU. Meanwhile, Hell-Bent Trent admits that he has no athletic background. Instead, he's done the most work behind the bar as a bartender.
That's right. Look at that twisting neck breaker there from Hell-Bent Trent. Trent was delivering those chops early on. And GB, look at this, charges in, but no, gets hung up on the top rope there from Prime.
Prime just lured him in there.
Oh, what a man, from a standing position, just stomped him right through the mat just about.
He stamped him so hard he lost his do-rag on that one.
My goodness. Prime, like you said, did not come to play around here tonight. He's here to win his first match here in the Nightmare Factory.
You better believe it. And listen to these people.
Like I said, there's a big old contingent here, but a pin attempt here from Prime. Not going to be enough.
On one hand, it is amazing, obviously, when your friends and family show up. I think we all want to see that, but at the same time, it puts a lot of pressure on you. No one wants to lose in front of family and friends. And look at this.
Huge scoop slam there from Prime right in the center of the ring. And he's hearing from this crowd right now. And he's looking around like, what's going on here? Well, that was a great move. Why am I booing?
Absolutely. Prime Works has been in the business for about a year. That's the cool thing about the Nightmare Factory. It's not just, look at that.
Look at this arrogant pin attempt here. Oh! But wait, he turned it into an elbow drop there and another pin attempt.
That charisma, shades of the Junkyard Dog. I mean, I remember this from old Mid-South days. This is impressive to see again. Prime Works doing all of this type of thing here. And again, Prime Works is no joke. He is not taking any days off. He's full of charisma, and he has one intent tonight to win this match.
And the biggest, strongest Prime now, wrapping those big arms around the body of Hellbent Trent, trying to squeeze the life out of him, trying to cut off that air supply.
Absolutely. I think Hellbent Trent is going to have to go somewhere that he hasn't been before. He's going to have to pull, obviously, on his bartending.
Whoa! Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me?
But wait. Did you see how Prime Works held the position, then moved to the push-ups? I'm telling you, his football background is paying off for him. He certainly seems to be like an alpha athlete at this point.
He's not just doing that, GB. He's doing that in front of the Hellbent Trent contingent.
Absolutely.
You see them all in the red Hellbent Trent shirts there on the outside.
Listen, Prime Works is the
look
at this. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right back up. Wow. What a move there from Prime.
Prime Works is the football player that you do not want to see in the away game. He's the dude that's going to antagonize the home crowd. He doesn't care about home field advantage. The advantage is wherever he is. That's how Prime Works feels.
Got to give it up to the fortitude there of Hellbent Trent, able to kick out still after taking quite some punishment here from Prime. This crowd trying to rally behind him once again. Trent back to his feet, and Prime just kind of mocking the crowd here.
Yeah, Prime is actually giving me Coach Prime vibes right now, and I am here for it.
Trent gonna get sent across into the ropes, springs back here. Oh, sling blade there from Hellbent Trent, and Hellbent Trent is hellbent on trying to take the big man down, and he finally does.
I gotta tell you, that was an impressive move coming from Trent, and he pulled that out somewhere from deep where his drinks are. You know, you gotta go deep for the really good drinks. You only bring out the really good drinks late at night. That's what he's doing right now. He's pulling out those deep combinations that you don't find in magazines.
That's right, they come out for special occasions, and tonight, this is a special occasion, especially for him, in front of his family, doing this for his grandmother, and doing this in front of this great crowd here at the Nightmare Factory.
There you go, pull those drinks together, Trent.
Firing away with those right hands, and the big lariat there, followed up by another one, taking down Prime. Prime misses with that clothesline. Look at this, a Luthez press, and now firing away with the right hands is Hellbent Trent.
I absolutely love.
How about that?
Look at this, Trent's got something in mind.
Trent fired up here. Look at where, a jumping DDT, will it be enough? What's the outside leg? Oh, wow. That might be the closest one we've seen tonight here at GB, but Prime able to get that right shoulder up.
Yeah, but Brandy told us years ago that almost doesn't count, and such is the case here in the Nightmare Factory. Almost doesn't count.
Prime slow to get back up to his feet here. I don't know if Trent's letting him get back up here. I'm not sure if this is a good idea, but he charges in though and he misses. Prime able to get out of the way.
I don't know if Trent was letting him get up or if Trent was trying to figure out what he wanted to do.
Oh my God! My goodness! I'm not sure if he called all of that crossbody, that springboard crossbody, but he got enough of it. Pin attempt here, but no.
Trent barely got that shoulder up. What a daring move there from Prime Works Offwork. And now Prime is trying to figure out, since that didn't work, what do you have to do to make this work?
You're right, Prime sitting there trying to figure out, what do I do next here? This guy won't give up.
No, he won't, and that's why he's hell-bent. And so now Primeworks is going to have to figure out how deep in the arsenal does he have to go.
Trent now stirring a little bit, rolling over, trying to get, well, he's down here still, but now up to the top rope goes Prime. What does Prime have in mind here? What is he thinking? High risk, heads up.
Whoa, went for a splash, tried to adjust midair, and he couldn't get the adjustment done.
You're right, it's like that. It's like he saw Trent getting out of the way, so he tried to adjust what was happening, but it was too late.
It was much too late.
And now Trent's fired up. He's got something in mind clearly, GB.
He definitely does, and he's trying to wait for Primeworks to get in the perfect position. Let's see what he's got.
Oh, a huge spear there from Hellbent Trent. Will it be enough? Deep stack pin here.
He got him.
Oh my goodness, and this crowd is going nuts.
Hellbent Trent certainly felt the presence of Grandma's hands with this massive victory here. What a way to start your pro wrestling career. I absolutely love this. Shout out to Hellbent Trent.
Man, and this crowd going nuts. Like I said, you get the Hellbent Trent contingent here. The Trent contingent, if you will. And there are hugs all around there.
Contingent, it's nearly an army that came out for him tonight, and I love that. But let me just say this, as big of a win as that was, I think we're gonna be hearing a whole lot from Primeworks Offwork. What an impressive showing from him. I think he has an equally bright future. Hellbent Trent as well. Two amazing prospects that we're gonna be seeing more of here in the world of pro wrestling.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Well, we heard this music earlier, GB.
So Chris Pagan earlier tonight got a big win in his first match against T-Train, but he told a really powerful story, said he didn't come all the way out here to live in his van for a 5-minute match. So he did, of all things, he decided to challenge his trainer, and now they're really gonna have a match.
One half of the Southeast SWAT team, Big Luke Sampson, answering the challenge from earlier. Of course, he answered the challenge right away.
Yeah.
And then quickly, you saw Pagan there get out of the ring, and it looked like they decided to do it a little bit later. But here we go. Now Luke's in his gear. He's ready to go.
I got to tell you, man, I mean, I know you're a teacher. You've done some things and taught people some things over time. Can you imagine your student getting in your face saying, look, I've not had enough. I really want to test myself. I want you right now.
Well, we know Luke. We talk to him every month here at the Nightmare Factory. We knew that he was not going to take this sitting down.
Luke does not back down from any challenge. But let me just shout out Luke Sampson. The way he has transformed his body over the last year or so, it's really something special. It's those things that, you know, Instagram models are made of.
Well, there you go.
Now let me guess.
I think that's the first time Luke Sampson ever got compared to an Instagram model, by the way.
Well, I'm just saying, it's another line of income.
There you go, but look at Sampson here with the advantage now, working on the arm of Chris Pagan.
Well, so now here's the real challenge. Chris Pagan, 300 pounds.
Oh, Fireman's Carry takeover there.
He's a two-time All-State, All-American champion. He's a state wrestling champion. You know, I know he's fairly new to the pro wrestling business, but, you know, you got to wonder now, what kinds of things has Luke Sampson been holding out on to particularly have this match? Because Sampson did not come in here tonight prepared to have a match.
And what's crazy here, though, you got to think that Sampson knows everything he's going to do because he trained him. But did he teach him everything he knows, but did he teach him everything Luke knows?
Well, that's the question, though. The other side of it is, how much did Luke actually know about Chris Pagan? Pagan was 16 years as an amateur wrestler. I'm sure he didn't show everything to Luke Sampson in 12 weeks.
We're going to have to talk to the other students here, because I don't know, is there any kind of backstory? Is there some kind of bad blood between these two? I don't know. Why did he call out Sampson of all the trainers?
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, Chris Pagan was not joking when he said he lived in his car. I mean, literally, when I went outside, I saw Pagan open up his car, and literally, he lives in his car. That is a different kind of determination. When that's the case, you don't come this far to just have 5 minutes. So I understand his passion. Now, would I have called out Luke Sampson? Me? No. But I'm telling you, Pagan's a different kind of guy.
Absolutely, as we saw that earlier when he took down T-Train in a great match to earlier in the showcase here. But now, he did these big men. I got to tell you, both of these big men, so athletic for their size.
Extremely athletic. You were reading my mind because I can't get over the things I saw T-Train, Chris Pagan do in that match against T-Train. Look at this. Did you see the snap arm drag? That usually comes from folks literally half the size of Pagan. Pagan came here with a mission, and he's going to be just as bad as anybody who's ever come out of the Nightmare Factory.
Look at that. Sampson with a shoulder block, though, made Pagan spill to the outside here. And I don't know if that totally took him out or if he went out kind of voluntarily to kind of catch his breath here.
I would definitely say it is the latter. Again, I think this is a cerebral wrestler we're seeing in Chris Pagan. Pagan living off of his, look at this.
Again, trying to go up and over.
And now the question is, is there an endurance issue now that
you got to think about
Pagan's going to struggle with because he wrestled earlier tonight?
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing, GP. He already did have that match. And granted, he said, well, it was only a 5-minute match. I need more than that. But still, he had a lot taken out of him.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me when you have a really, really good meal and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to have more. Let me get seconds.
Guilty.
But the problem is once you get that second plate and you realize about halfway through, I ordered too much. Did Pagan order too much asking for seconds with this match?
Well, it's like my parents. My parents would say, you take all you want, but eat all you take. Well, now he needs to eat all he took here because now he's got big Luke Sampson to deal with.
And the question is his appetite going to be able to match what his body can do?
Snapmare takeover there from Sampson. Hooks both legs here, but no, Pagan not going to go down that easy.
And Pagan is certainly seemingly nursing an injury right now with his leg. And that is something that's going to be super important for Pagan. The leg serves, again, as his strength base, also a space where he builds a lot of agility. Without that, he's in trouble. But again, think about this. To your point, that's where the teacher would know this.
Absolutely. And now, looking for this half Nelson slam that he's known for, but Luke Sampson gets driven into the corner there by Pagan.
Well, listen, Pagan.
There's a right hand there from Pagan.
And Pagan is not willing to let a small injury stop him. He really can think about this. What would the headlines be if Pagan defeats his trainer here at the Nightmare Factory?
That would be a huge, huge thing for this graduate here of Camp 7.
It certainly would, and a lot of people would have to pay attention. Luke Sampson has been all over the wrestling world, and so if Pagan gets this win,
look at the
imagine the calls that are coming.
Huge sidewalk slam there from Pagan, hooks the leg. No, not going to be enough, and he's still favoring that left leg is Chris Pagan here.
Absolutely, and now Pagan's going to have to figure out how to work around that, especially when dealing with someone the size of Luke Sampson. Again, there's a size difference between Luke Sampson and T-Train, his earlier opponent.
This crowd trying to get behind both these competitors here as they're putting on a heck of a match. Both men slow to get back to their feet. Sampson up first with the right hand, right to the side of the head there. Pagan has had so much taken out of him, but he still fires back with a right hand of his own and eats another one there from Luke Sampson.
Absolutely, and you've got to give it to Pagan. He has lasted this long with his teacher, and they are going blow for blow. And at this point,
looking for a discus lariat, but no, he got met with a boot there from Pagan and a huge spine buster from Chris Pagan, but he can't take advantage.
Absolutely, again, that leg creating an issue for him.
Here's a pin attempt here, but he might have taken him too long. He's holding that left leg still.
That could come back to haunt him if this match doesn't go his way.
Both men now reeling. And man, something's up with that left leg, GB. It's been worked over pretty badly in this matchup.
And even with
he's got to be thinking about his future here, GB. You don't want to do too much damage this early in your career.
But look at this. He went moonsault again.
Springboard moonsault with that bad wheel.
Listen, the only part of his future he's thinking about is literally the next 2 seconds or the next 3 seconds in terms of how he can get a 3-second pin over his trainer, Luke Sampson.
Sampson slow to try to get back up in the corner. He was able to avoid that moonsault. That would have been it if he would have hit it.
It certainly would have.
Oh, look out. Oh, huge clothesline there from the big man, and another one there from Sampson.
And Sampson now getting ready to turn into another gear, but a reversal there from Pagan.
Look out now. Oh, Pagan just ate the knee of Sampson, and the discus punch from the BFD.
And now the question is, what does Luke Sampson have left to give to Pagan? Because Pagan's going to have to pull into another gear right now.
Into an ankle lock with that bad leg.
Smart move there from Sampson. Again, going after the ankle, continuing to provide pain there. And Pagan is trying to figure out, what do I have to do? I wonder if Pagan is regretting actually requesting this match.
Oh, what a reverse there. Able to get out of it.
That's that amateur background coming up for him.
Absolutely it was. Now both men again slow to get back up to their feet. Sampson up first. Perhaps looking for that half Nelson slam, and he planted him.
He got all of it.
He's put plenty of guys away with that move right there, but look at the lower back. You saw the lower back of Luke Sampson.
But look at the brilliance there of Chris Pagan.
Smart.
With ring awareness, rolling over to the ropes, because he knows that puts separation between him and Sampson, such that Sampson can't immediately go for the pin.
Smart move, but now right back to the ankle lock goes Luke Sampson. Can Pagan make it back to the ropes once again?
Pagan is being tested in a way I don't think he intended to be tested. And now will Pagan potentially lose this second match?
Really digging in with the ankle lock, but no, he's able to roll through it once again. Sends Luke Sampson into that second rope, and now a little ground and pound here from student to teacher, and now trying to choke him out here.
Well, that's the same maneuver that won his first match. He got him!
And that's it! How about that?
Now, I got to tell you, many may call that an upset, and I'm included in the group called many. Because right now at this point, I thought Pagan had bit off more than he could chew, but he proved all of us wrong by managing to choke out his boss, his trainer, and getting a second win. He's now officially undefeated in the world of pro wrestling.
2-0, not only in the world of professional wrestling, but here on this show.
Yeah, this is
2-0. And how about that? Maybe it was a little rope-a-dope action. I don't know, because as soon as he locked in that choke, he was out.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know that anybody is fully aware of the true power of Chris Pagan. We're going to have to be paying a lot of attention to this one, because he just got a major, massive victory here.
How about that? Undefeated 2-0 here tonight at the Student Showcase for Camp 7 at the Nightmare Factory.
The following contest is your main event. It is scheduled for one
This is my factory. My factory.
Well, GB, it would not be a main event of a student showcase here in the Nightmare Factory without this man, Dean Alexander, the man who has main evented all 6 previous Nightmare Factory showcases.
He absolutely has, and so now the question is, what will he do in main event 7?
His opponent.
Corporal Punishment making his debut here in the Nightmare Factory. Certainly not someone who is unaware of combat or unfamiliar, having served 3 years in the Oklahoma National Guard. In fact, he's still serving there.
11 years.
I'm sorry, 11 years. You're exactly right. And so with that said, this is going to be intriguing to see him transition into the world of pro wrestling. Not foreign for folks to come from the military into pro wrestling. How will he fare against Dean Alexander? That's the question tonight.
It's going to be a great main event here. He's been one of the standouts here of Nightmare Factory Camp 7. Of course, Dean Alexander, we mentioned, main eventing all the previous showcases, yet to get a victory.
This is true, but that could all change here tonight as the bell has rung. And we're underway.
Look, no, what a mat return there from Dean Alexander. Quick on the attack, quick roll up there. And you know, usually Dean Alexander comes out here a little more flashy, a little more flamboyant, usually maybe with the mic in hand, a lot to say. This time he's right down to business. Probably, like I said, he's ready to finally get a victory here.
Absolutely. You know, the 7th time is
round and pound. Look out now.
You know, number 7 is known for the number of completion. Could this be the time where Dean Alexander finally gets the win that he's been looking for?
Vicious jobs here from Corporal Punishment. He's just punishing Dean Alexander.
I'll tell you something. Again, Corporal Punishment is not the first military veteran or active person we've seen come through the Nightmare Factory. Let's go all the way back to main event number 1. A certain Bad News and Tattoos, Carly Bravo, who spent quite a bit of time in the military serving our country, was the first opponent for Dean Alexander, and we remember how that went.
Absolutely, just like the next 5 went.
Well,
we'll see if number 7 goes the same way. Oh, what a stomp there from the Corporal, taking down Dean Alexander. Alexander now in the corner, and then the Fist of Fury here.
Now here's the thing.
Punishment. Oh, gets face planted almost like a flatliner into that top turnbuckle.
Now here's what's intriguing about Corporal Punishment. I mentioned 3 years. The 3 years is actually the wrestling experience he has, and that's the cool thing here about the Nightmare Factory. You don't have to be brand new to the industry to be able to come here, take courses, get involved in classes, and get training, and that's what I like to see about Corporal Punishment and several others that we've seen here tonight who have said, hey, listen, I've tried it on my own. Now let's go to the best school in the business and really further our skills.
See Dean Alexander just laying the boots there. And I mentioned Dean Alexander, normally a talker, normally comes out there. And now you see he's talking trash right now to the Corporal. The Corporal, his credo, don't talk about it, be about it.
Well, it seems as though Dean Alexander took that to heart because he didn't talk anything coming here. He decided to be about it, and he wants to be about that win life here tonight. Let's see if he can pull it off.
Corporal now in trouble. Dean Alexander kind of playing with him a little bit, taking his time here, brings him back to his feet, hits him with the right hand, taking him right back down to the canvas.
You know, and some people would look at the win record here at the Nightmare Factory of Dean Alexander and put him in the wrong category. You know, you can't afford to do that because in this particular case, how many matches he's lost is not indicative of how really good he is. He managed to get bested by 3 seconds 6 different times.
And you're right, he's in the main event for a reason.
He's totally in the main event for a reason, and I think this could be the time, as determined as he is, where he turns things around in his favor.
Pin attempt here. Look at the vicious pin attempt as he just drives a forearm right across the face of Corporal Punishment.
Now, of course, Corporal Punishment doesn't want to be the 1 in 7. He wants to continue and be like the other 6 and continue to get wins over Dean Alexander. But right now, Alexander is on top of things.
Again with the ground and pound was Dean Alexander. Corporal Punishment now using the ropes, trying to get back up to his feet. Dean Alexander going to help him up. Now he's going to send him across into the ropes. Comes back. Oh, eats a big boot there from Alexander. And it connected. He got all of it, loosened some teeth there of the Corporal.
For sure, and the Corporal may be rethinking right now. Is this really? Oh, no.
Wow. Well, arrogant pin attempt there, but would you expect anything less there from Dean Alexander?
Here's the thing about Dean Alexander. He shifted a few things. He didn't decide to come out and talk. He didn't decide to have a flamboyant entrance, but he has decided to continue these dastardly ways in the hopes that they will somehow produce a victory for him.
Look out, no, up on the shoulders, no. Corporal escapes. Quick go behind, though, from Dean Alexander. Driving Corporal into the corner. Now quick roll up here. Might have had a handful of tights there, but Corporal able to escape. Oh, springboard. Oh, went for a cross body, but the Corporal was out of the way just in time. Nobody home for Alexander. Turns it into a pin here.
He just decided to step back and get out of the way. Didn't need to move side to side. Just step back. Get out of the way. Impressive move there. And we don't see that very often from wrestlers who just figure out other ways to get out of the ways of things.
Ooh, cross chop right up under the throat there from Dean Alexander. And gonna, hit hard there in the ropes.
Super hard with that clothesline.
What a collision.
Come on, Corporal!
Corporal hit hard. You see it on his face, written all over his face. He's feeling it.
You know, here's the dangerous thing about fighting anyone who has served in the U.S. Armed Forces. They are probably the toughest people to ever come into this business, given all of the things that they have encountered. They've been involved in wars, they've been involved in confrontations, they've had very difficult circumstances to deal with. So they are certainly the type who can handle a conflict and combat and walk out victorious.
Oh, big shot there from Alexander. Just the training alone, GP.
Right.
Corporal's down in the center of the ring, gonna go for a lateral press here. No, it's not gonna be enough. Bit of a lackadaisical pin attempt there from Alexander, maybe just trying to wear down his opponent. Not sure if he was trying to get the win there right away, but you see the Corporal able to get that shoulder up again.
And here's the thing, I'm sure that Corporal is going to pull on his wrestling knowledge and his wrestling experience, but I think I think it is a default move for him to be able to pull on all of the military experience that he's had and the things that he had to go through when he wanted to quit in training and quit in combat. He absolutely won't allow himself to quit in a moment like this.
Alexander shoots him across. Oh, and he powers right back out. He fires out with that lariat. Can he take advantage and make the pin here? Slow to get over there, and it wasn't quite quick enough. If Alexander able to get up off the mat once again, kick out.
Absolutely, and I wonder, did he get poked in the eye? He's holding his eye there.
Alexander may have got him in the eye. We're not quite sure. You see, yeah, you're right. You see the Corporal punishment holding his eye there, and Alexander going to go right after it again.
I don't blame Alexander. Alexander does not want to be known as the guy who went 0-7 at the student showcases. He wants to break that particular streak.
Look out there. Oh, quick roll up though, but it's not enough once again from the Corporal. Could be a sunset flip. He's got him over. Oh, but it's not enough. Alexander, again, able to get out in the last second, and a quick power slam there. What a move from Corporal Punishment, punishing Dean Alexander, but he's had so much taken out of him, GB, he can't capitalize.
He absolutely has had a lot taken out of him, and yes, he may have had nearly 3 years wrestling experience, but there's nothing like training in the Nightmare Factory. There's nothing like the competition that comes out of the Nightmare Factory, and so it's safe to say that Corporal Punishment is facing his biggest wrestling challenge at this particular point.
Both men trying to get back to their feet, slowly doing so. Corporal Punishment, Dean Alexander both up about the same time. Alexander charges in, but he hits a big cross chop there from Corporal Punishment, and then a lariat there from the Corporal. And now a little ground and pound action here from the Corporal, punishing Dean Alexander once again.
When all else fails, begin to throw those hands.
A salute to the crowd. What's he got in mind here?
He just told him, don't talk about it, be about it, which he's got tattooed on his arm, by the way.
See him patting that right knee. And there it is, the big right knee up under the chin of Alexander. He rolls over. Will it be enough to cover him for 3? Will it be enough? No! Oh, Dean Alexander just barely gets that shoulder up.
It was super, super close, but again, we talk about tenacity. Dean Alexander has a ton of it because he does not want to lose a 7th match here at the Student Showcase.
Alexander able to reverse. Oh, turns into a choke slam. What a move there.
That choke slam was turned into a bit of a cutter.
My goodness. Oh, you're right. Got countered there by Dean Alexander, and Corporal able to get that shoulder up just in time as well.
And now this is a real battle of wills at this point. Who has the greater will to win? We're about to find out.
Dean Alexander now stalking his prey, waiting for the Corporal to get back to his feet. He's gonna help him up the hard way. Look at this, the crowd is not feeling it here.
Oh, look at this, could this?
We've seen him try before, looking for the crossroads, but no, the Corporal able to escape. Kick to the gut. What's he got in mind here? Taking him up. Oh, into the jackhammer. He planted him, hooks the leg.
And he got him.
Oh, the Corporal does it. The Corporal does it. Corporal Punishment coming away with the victory here in our main event at Camp 7.
I'll tell you, poor thing, and I hate to say Dean Alexander, poor thing, but the truth of it is 7 consecutive losses. I don't know what he needs to do, but I think that also speaks to just how great his opponents have been over the last 7 classes. Congratulations to Corporal Punishment.
Corporal Punishment planted the flag with that jackhammer. And I tell you what, coming away with a huge victory here in our main event. And guys, I gotta tell you what an amazing showcase here for Camp 7 at the Nightmare Factory. Great job, Corporal Punishment. I'm Brandon Benefield, this is Gerard Bonner. Thanks for joining us, GB. What do you gotta say?
Absolutely, listen, you can be a part. If you wanna train at the Nightmare Factory, go to the website nightmarefactoryga.com and apply now to be part of a class.